Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here. We're taking a trip from Kalos to Hoenn, and we're bringing Meowstic with us, but just the girl this time. So in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Meowstic in general just doesn't get too many move tutors, like get Magic Coat, Snatch, but not too much offensively that it can really make use of, and you also get access to Trick. Now, you do have Trick as an egg move, but now it's just easier to get Trick. You don't have to worry about breeding if you want it, and that does open up some options for female Meowstic that, since there are no female well, there are very few female Meowstic guides out there, might as well try to come up with something and give it its own dedicated video. Now, Trick Choice Scarf is kind of one of the main things you can do here, because Trick Choice Scarf, while I don't really talk about too much of my strategies, Pokemon's Trick, it can become a viable Scarf swapper, and it does a lot of really cool things that, for those who don't know, switches the held item with the targets, which means you can effectively force out a switch, and you also can shut down an entire Pokemon depending on what you give it to. That, you know, for Pokemon like Dusclops gets a Choice Scarf, and Pokemon like Slurpuff, Snorlax, a lot of really heavy setup Pokemon, they lose a lot of power, and sometimes they just become completely useless afterwards. Also, if you use this Pokemon as a lead, they're setting up Stealth Rocks, they're throwing out a status, you trick them, well, they don't want to set up Stealth Rocks again, or they don't want to be like stuck in some kind of Swords Dance loop, or whatever setup they're trying to go for, so that means they have to switch out, which gives you a lot of options from there, and this is effectively strong on any Trick Pokemon. Also, since you're Scarfed, you're going to get that speed boost on the first turn you use it, steal their item, and then you get some power back from it, so there's a lot of really cool things that you can do here, and it works really well on Meowstic. That from there, you know, you take a hit, you use Trick, and then you still have a good amount of speed from there. That Modest Nature puts you over 300 speed at level 100. You can also go Timid if you just want to outspeed it even more, because that 104 speed on Meowstic is fairly ignored because you mostly see it on the male Meowstic with Prankster, so speed isn't too impressive, but if you're just going to try to run Meowstic female as a sweeper, it can do that very well. So you're forcing out the switch, then that gives you a free opportunity to Calm Mind. Also, if your opponent is like setting up Substitute or something, you know, you're Calm Minding, they're like, oh, I'm going to hide behind a Substitute. Meowstic also gets Infiltrator, so you can get a couple of stat boosts. If you get the outspeed, you know, now you're at +1/+2 with Calm Mind. That's a 2-hit KO, potentially 1-hit KO if you get really good coverage, and you can actually make a lot of work happen. And that's like one of the things about Meowstic. You know, you try to set up 3 Calm Minds optimally, and then you can just one-shot everything with Psychic while having a decent amount of speed. But, you know, you're kind of frail. Like, since you're not investing in the hit points, you're not going to be incredibly durable. But even then, if you get 1 or 2 Calm Minds, it can still be very strong. Looking at Hidden Power Fire, that's just going to be the best thing to round out your coverage. You get to burn down a lot of Pokemon, you cover for Psychic, which is resisted by Steel, and it works out. Other things Meowstic can do is just kind of be a more tanky setup Pokemon. That hit points, defense, you know, you go with that Bold Nature, you max out the defense, and then with Calm Mind, you're getting a lot of special defense. The main problem with Meowstic, though, no recover. For Psychic-type Pokemon, that's kind of weird. But it doesn't have any recover, it doesn't have any sustain. So with this set, you're hopefully looking to, you know, Calm Mind once, and then have, maybe twice, depending on what it's looking for, and then just try to Psychic and Energy Ball out with just having Magic Coat. Like, I just want to bring up Magic Coat because it can be good as a lead. That you predict a Stealth Rock, you can at least counter out their open, get a free Calm Mind, maybe chip in some damage, trade 1 for 1 while also canceling your opponent's setup. That's a good job for a Pokemon right there. Then leftovers is going to be your sustain, get some health back. And you can also kind of just do the same idea except Timid. You can run maybe just... we take some points away, we go Timid Nature. That way now we're at hit point bulk. We also have that speed, which means we're going to probably get 2 Calm Minds, then start outspeeding opponents. And we do have like that other option that instead of Trick, we have Magic Coat. We can go for Hidden Power Fire again. That if you don't want to try to grind for Hidden Powers, Energy Ball is a very nice coverage as well. So it just kind of shows all the other things that you can carry, and it works out pretty well. Now also, female Meowstic has a lot of potential strength in doubles because of competitive. Special attack is boosted for each stat lowered by the foe. Well, a lot of people like running Intimidate in doubles, which means that if you lead Meowstic with Intimidate, or against an Intimidate, now your special attack is getting doubled immediately. With that Life Orb, you can just start running away with pure offenses and really hurt your opponent. That you have a good amount of speed, and you can kind of play that to your advantage depending on what other Pokemon you have next to you. You can have another sweeper, you can have another support, and you can still get some work done because now, you know, 500 special attack, Life Orb, Psychic is really going to sting as well as your other coverage, and you still have Fake Out as an option. And even then, like, competitive has the chance of being viable in singles as well. I just like Infiltrator because if they see you setting up and they try to be cheeky with a Substitute, you can hit through that Substitute or Light Screen, Reflect, whatever. But even then, you can still run competitive in singles. Some Pokemon do have Intimidate. If they switch it in not knowing you're competitive, or you get a really excellent prediction, like they lead Intimidate, you double switch into intimidate Pokemon. I don't know. Now you're at +2 immediately, and that's when you can take this set, you know. You're timid at the +2, 1 Calm Mind, now you're at +3, good coverage, and you can just blow up almost anything in your way. That means Meowstic starts becoming a threat, and it's the female Meowstic. So there's just some options if you don't want to use the regular male Meowstic, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day.